Today on Top Shelf Sports, we'll see how one athlete used her sport to overcome a life-changing obstacle. We'll see what our reporter Scott Nicol learned from the wrestling team, and we'll find out where the football team is headed as bowl season approaches. Top Shelf Sports starts now.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Welcome to our newest edition of Top Shelf Sports alongside Adam Carr. I am Austin Hanson, and Adam, I see you're looking very festive today.
Well, it's our Christmas themed show, and I figured I'd get into the mood a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from the beautiful Christmas set we have here today.
Well, it's our Christmas show, and Christmas came early for a pair of Huskies who reached career milestones in the women's basketball team 80-71 victory over Loyola University on Wednesday. Junior Courtney Woods and senior Kelly Smith became the 23rd and 24th players in NIU history to reach 1,000 career points. NIU took control of the game with just under 3 minutes left in the first half and never looked back. Loyola attempted to battle their way back in the fourth quarter, but NIU's defense shut them down. Woods led the Huskies with nearly edging a double-double with 22 points and 9 rebounds. Smith also had a solid performance, scoring 18 points and picking up 8 rebounds of her own. The Huskies will now look to take a week off before the next game against Southern Illinois University Edwardsville on December 17th. So it's our Christmas show, like we were saying, and hey, would you look at that?
Wow!
Santa, that's our first gift of the show.
Thank
Top
you.
Shelf Sports gift.
Thank
And
you
what
so
did we get,
much.
Austin?
We got some purple ribbons.
Oh, hey, would you look at that?
Now, this may seem a little odd, but Top Shelf Sports reporter Crystal Megan will give us the meaning behind these and what it means for Paulina Castro and the entire women's basketball team.
Paulina Castro, women's basketball redshirt freshman guard, started on an unexpected journey in December 2016. Paulina was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, forcing her to miss her freshman season. 1 year later, through her determination and positive outlook, Paulina has worked her way back onto the court.
It was difficult. I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was made easier because of the support I had and the positive energy I had all around me. You know, I always constantly had people saying, you know, you're going to be fine, you're going to get through it, you're going to beat this, and you're going to be back on the court, and that's exactly what I believed in.
Paulina received an outpouring of support from the NIU community throughout her journey, including teammates wearing purple ribbons, dyeing their hair purple, and shaving their head. Head coach Lisa Carlson said Paulina's positive mindset throughout it all was an example for all those who supported her.
How to stay positive in times when things aren't very positive, how to continue to have things not be about herself when they absolutely were about her. So I think all of those lessons continued to be something that's shown very brightly for everybody.
On November 4th, Paulina played in her first collegiate game and made a shot she'd never forget. Paulina's ability to get back on the court wasn't a surprise to her teammates, but it didn't make the moment any less special, especially for former teammate Allie Lynn.
Being in the weight room, we were seeing those shots. We were all waiting for that moment that she was going to step on the floor and make an immediate impact, and that's exactly what she did. We knew that it was going to happen, but for everyone to see it and know that she's a stud and she's ready to fight back, I mean, that just shows her as a person.
Paulina's journey has taught her a variety of life lessons that she will always carry with her.
You know, it's not like I was expecting to hear that news. So just not take anything for granted and just to always keep a positive attitude about things.
Paulina continues to have a positive outlook, and her journey is one the Huskies will never forget. For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Crystal Megan.
Now, we're all stressing out about finals and the two of us graduation, but stories like these remind us what's truly important in the world and in life.
That's why we're wearing these ribbons, to show support for Castro and anyone battling cancer.
You can catch Paulina on the court as she continues her first official season with the Huskies.
Heading over to the men's basketball team, they suffered a tough loss to the Iowa State Cyclones Monday evening. The Huskies brought the fight to Iowa State early on in the game, but the second half was a completely different story. Iowa State outscored the Huskies 16-2 to give themselves a 19-point lead with 11 minutes remaining in the game. NIU attempted to bounce back, but fell short, resulting in a 94-80 loss. The men's team will now turn their attention to the Central Connecticut State Blue Devils for their game tomorrow afternoon. Tip-off is at noon. The men's basketball team is 5-4 on the young season. We were able to catch up with sophomore guard Justin Thomas to talk about the team's recent success.
Let's send it over to Top Shelf sports reporter and Ankle Breakers podcast host Tom Burton. We call him the Burtonator. Who's with Justin in this week's edition of the Husky Corner.
Thanks, guys. We're joined on set now by sophomore guard Justin Thomas from the men's basketball team. How you doing, Justin?
I'm good. How you doing today?
Good, man. So obviously you guys are sitting at 5-4 this season. What are kind of your overall thoughts on the season so far and the way they're going?
We a new team, so I kind of expected a little slow start for us to start gelling, and everybody has new positions and coming in, new faces. So we still trying to gel and figure each other out. So we gonna get it though.
How about like your personal game, maybe from last season to this season? Have you had to make any changes, maybe starting alongside Eugene? Like I know you're shooting like over 45% from the three-point line. Is that something you've worked on?
Yeah, over the summer I really stressed getting my three-point shot better because last year the scouting report was to go under screens and sag off of them, and so I've been in the gym working on that a lot. But as far as a transition from last season to this season, I'm playing off the ball more. So I had my three-point shot was something that I had to work on, playing off the ball, but also playing aside Eugene kind of makes it easy because knowing he can do some of the things that I can do when I have the ball in my hands. Attack, it kind of opens up the floor for me and other players on the floor as well.
Is that something you knew going into the offseason that you'd be playing kind of that off-ball role with Eugene at the guard position?
Yeah, it is new because growing up I've always been the point guard. I always had the ball in my hands all the time, and now it's kind of different not having the ball in my hands. But I just got to pick and choose my spots and learn how to play the two. It's going to make me more of a complete player. So
you guys kind of like learn from each other. I know you guys came in kind of at the same time, kind of got going at the same time. They kind of like bounce off each other, like a little bit competitive at practice.
Yeah, especially in practice, we try to push each other just so the other players could see, like, even though we're two of the best players and veterans on the floor, we still can go at it to make each other better. And then, when me and Eugene came in, we was always in the gym working out, pushing each other, giving each other tips on what we need to do to better ourselves, and it's worked out for us.
You guys kind of take a leadership role even as a sophomore with the young players on the team?
Yeah, we got to, because although we sophomores, we kind of one of the oldest on the team. We don't really have no seniors, and then it's Levi and J.K., and then it's us. So we have to lead. We got to be huge communicators, and coach is always on us about communicating and talking.
What do you think about the freshmen on the team this year, like the young talent you guys have coming in?
We got a good group of guys. They still learning, trying to figure out the game. All freshmen go through it. They still learning. They gonna get it.
So lastly, you guys are obviously starting MAC play over break. Is there anything you think the team needs to work on or maybe like focus on going into MAC play?
We need to get our defense better. Offense isn't really a problem for us. We all can score the ball, but it's when we go down to the other end of the floor, if we can help each other on defense, somebody gets beat, can we rely on the next person to help, and then that person that's helping, can he rely on the next person to help? So if we get our defense, we could really get our defense right, we could go for a deep run in the tournament. So.
Gotcha. Well, best of luck in MAC play and best of luck on Saturday against Central Connecticut.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. And guys, that'll do it from the Husky Corner. Let's send it back to Adam and Austin at the desk.
Thanks, Tom. Now, going up in basketball players and gymnasts is one thing, but wrestlers?
Yeah, Top Show sports reporter Scott Nicol stepped onto the mat with redshirt junior Andrew Scott, and let's just say it did not go well.
I'm going to enjoy every second of this one.
I challenged redshirt junior Andrew Scott to a wrestling match, which, I must admit, was not the brightest idea I've ever had. I filled Andrew in on my prior wrestling experience, in which I did not win a single match. He was really not impressed and offered to give me some pointers. After a quick tutorial, it was time to hit the mat. He takes me down with a single leg takedown. This was also the softest landing I had all day. Then, Andrew decided to do my chiropractor's work for me and give me a free alignment. I had to peel myself off the mat after that one. Andrew was tired of my grit and tossed me across the mat. And as you can see, it was not an easy toss. This one hurt a little bit. But I got up, and Andrew took me down quickly into a half Nelson when Coach Ryan Ludwig comes over and gives Andrew the pin. Overall, this one was painful. For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Scott Nicol.
That was worth it, man. That was entertaining. I mean, I'm a grappler. I've been on the mat a time or two, and let's just say I don't envy Scott Nicol.
Yeah, actually, we talked to Scott this morning and confirmed from him himself he's still feeling that beating today. Well, when we come back, we will take a look at how the team has reacted to the Quick Lane Bowl bid.
And we will see which Chicago sports team, if any, can bring home any kind of win at all. Top Shelf Sports continues.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. Heard about the scarecrow who won an award? He was outstanding in his field.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Well, thank you, Santa. And look at what we got during the break. It's another gift. Austin, open up and tell us what it is.
It is the Quick Lane Bowl.
Hey.
This is not the PlayStation I asked for, but I guess I'll take it.
I mean, I asked for a job out of college, but hey, go Huskies, right? Let's get rid of this bag. Top Shelf Sports reporter Tom Burton has more on the Huskies' journey to the Quick Lane Bowl.
The Huskies will face the 6-6 Duke University Blue Devils of the ACC in the Quick Lane Bowl December 26th. The game will take place at Ford Field, the site of the annual MAC championship game. Head coach Rod Carey said he hoped for a different location, but is happy about returning to a bowl game after not playing in one last season.
I think overall, listen, everyone has dreams of a bowl game of being down south and on the beach and a great opponent. Well, you didn't get that part, but we still got a great opponent, and we got a bowl game.
The Huskies finished the season with an 8-4 record and 6-2 in the Mid-American Conference. The team's last bowl game came in 2015 at the Poinsettia Bowl, where they lost 55-7 against Boise State. Redshirt senior safety Michael Allen is excited to return to his hometown of Detroit for his last career game as a Husky.
For me personally, I'm from Detroit, so just going home, get to play my last college game in front of my family and friends is a big deal in front of Husky Nation. So pretty excited to, go against a pretty good matchup.
Allen is joined on defense by redshirt sophomore defensive end Sutton Smith, who was named MAC Defensive Player of the Year. The Huskies' defense ranked in the top 20 in the nation in total defense and looks to continue that in the bowl game.
Intercepted again off the pressure. This one taken away by Jawan Johnson. Another pick six.
The Quick Lane Bowl kicks off at 4:15 p.m. Central Time. For NTC Sports, I'm Tom Burton.
Congratulations once again to defensive end Sutton Smith, who received another season accolade.
Smith was named a Walter Camp first-team All-American yesterday after leading the nation for sacks and tackles for loss. Smith joins LaShawn Johnson as the only players to be named a first-team Camp All-American in NIU history.
Despite the creatively named bowl game that we were awarded, there's still plenty of excitement from the NIU student body.
Top Shelf Sports reporter Kobe Price took to the streets to see how students are feeling about the chances for the Huskies bowl game, as well as the general landscape of the bowl game season.
Thanks, guys. It was a wild weekend for the college football world. Ohio State beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship. Auburn got crushed by Georgia in the SEC Championship, and NIU was announced to go to the Quick Lane Bowl facing off against Duke. It's a lot for me to take in and digest by myself, so I'm out here talking to NIU students to get their word on what's going on. And right here, I have TJ Hopkins with me. TJ, how's it going?
It's going, man. It's going.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on everything that transpired last weekend for the college football world. First and foremost, what do you think about Alabama jumping Ohio State, TCU, and Auburn to get in there?
Well, the committee had one chance to get this right, and they missed it.
I think they got it right because it's Alabama. First of all, like Alabama is known for the notorious football team. I believe that they got it completely 100% right. Like Ohio State, yeah, they are good, but like it's almost like a sin not to have Alabama in the playoffs, you know, because you can't. It's hard to imagine them not in it.
Transition to NIU. How do you feel about their chances against Duke and the Quick Lane Bowl?
I think they have a very good chance to win the Quick Lane Bowl. They seem to play good against the upper echelon teams.
I think NIU should be able to beat Duke, considering Duke is like not known for football at all. So for them having a somewhat successfully decent college season, surprising, but I think NIU can pull it off because they've been doing fairly well this season these past couple of years.
The brackets are up. We all know who's in there, the top four. What are your predictions?
Oh, Oklahoma. I got Oklahoma winning this.
NIU all the way. Let's go.
He said NIU all the way. I love it. Bet you guys at the desk.
Well, thank you, Kobe. And the students seem confident. Austin, the team is confident.
Yeah, as a Big Ten fan, I was really hoping for Ohio State to make it, but can't really argue with Bama getting in.
It's Bama?
Because it's Bama.
I feel you.
But hey, you remember how much of a bummer our last Sports Hub was?
Yeah, unfortunately I do.
Well, I have some great news.
Oh my goodness. Tell me Chicago sports finally got us a win.
No, not at all. Not that at all. But it is the second straight week that we do not have to talk about them, so that's a huge plus.
Let's go over to the Sports Hub, and Eric, just don't make this one hurt too bad.
Welcome to the Sports Hub. I'm Eric Martin, and sadly they're right. Let's see what Chicago team blew a lead this week. Former Bears kicker Robbie Gould returns to Soldier Field for the first time since he was cut by the Bears in 2016. Gould is the Bears' all-time leading scorer with 1,118 points. Rookie running back Tariq Cohen had his play of the season, returning a punt 61 yards for a touchdown, giving the Bears a 14-6 lead in the first half, but could they keep it? Gould did not want to lose to his former team and ends up single-handedly beating the Bears by kicking 5 field goals, including the game winner to help the 49ers beat the Monsters of the Midway 15-14. Now the 3-9 Bears will head to Paul Brown Stadium looking to pick up a win against the Cincinnati Bengals. The lowly Bulls headed to the Hoosier State tip-off against Victor Oladipo and the Pacers. Chicago finally has a game where they look good as they lead the Pacers the whole game. The Bulls led by as many as 17 points, but Indiana starts to make a fourth-quarter comeback led by Oladipo. Late in the game, Corey Joseph hits a shot to bring the Pacers within 2 points. Denzel Valentine has the ball late looking to extend the lead, but Oladipo steals it and gives the Pacers their first lead of the game as he hits a three-pointer. The Bulls will continue to lose as they can't win and go to Charlotte tonight at 8. The Blackhawks traveled to Washington Wednesday to try and pick up a much-needed win against the Capitals. A little over halfway through the first period, Capitals got on the board first with a goal by Nicholas Backstrom. Capitals will continue to put on the pressure as Tom Wilson scores by throwing a shot in the net for his first of 2 goals in this game. As a little later, Wilson finds himself on a breakaway, but Anton Forsberg comes up with the save, but Ovechkin is there, and now every player on the Capitals' first line has scored, giving them a 3-0 lead. Forsberg will get pulled, putting Berube in the game to try and turn things around for the Hawks. Late in the first, 19-year-old Alex DeBrincat brings the puck in and sets up a Connor Murphy shot, and Lance Bowman is there for the tap-in. And the Hawks are on the board starting their comeback. The second period was mostly scoreless, with the Blackhawks putting the pressure on hard, but the Capitals get a late power play. Ovechkin rifles a shot on net, and Brett Connolly is there to put in his 5th of the season. Now down 5-1 in the third, Jonathan Toews steals the puck for a breakaway, and the captain will get Holtby moving and slides it right through his 5-hole. He will not go down without a fight. The Hawks will lose 6-2. Hope to turn their look around as they host the Buffalo Sabres tonight at 8. Christmas serves as a time where most of us create unforgettable memories with family, friends, and loved ones. But for sports fans, it's the time of year where the NBA puts up some of their best teams against each other to cultivate iconic action and movements. Here are my top 5 favorite Christmas NBA moments. At number 5, we have rookie LeBron James going up against a prime Tracy McGrady. LeBron's first ever Christmas game in 2003. Teammates Magic would end up defeating LeBron's Cavs, but this would serve as an insight on how dominant he would be. Number 4, more LeBron, but this time on the Heat as he throws down not 1, but 2 thunderous alley-oops dunks from Wade against the Los Angeles Lakers in 2014. This is a glimpse into what LeBron will bring to the Staples Center next season. We'll have to see. At number 3, back the clock to 1999 as young Black Mamba gives the Spurs' Jaren Jackson the ultimate facial. You know, this clip is old if Derek Fisher has hair. Number 2, some of you young millennials think KD versus Westbrook is a huge rivalry. Well, no clue how intense the Kobe versus Shaq dynamic was. Shaq was to get the upper hand in their first matchup post-breakup, but Kobe made sure to get the last laugh in his career. At number 1, some of you Bull fans might cry. Laurel Dane gets the steal. He brings it up court. Did he travel? It doesn't matter. Dane gets it to Noah. Noah gets it to Rose. Rose isos Derek Fisher. Gets around. Hits him with the crossover. Hits the lane and puts the floater in for the game winner. An MVP moment by Chicago's favorite son. And in Olympic news, Russia is banned from competing in the 2018 Winter Games. The punishment was issued on Tuesday as a response to the country's extensive state-backed doping program. Russian officials are forbidden to attend, and the Russian flag will not be displayed during the Games. Clean athletes from Russia are invited to participate under the Olympic flag, but the record books will say Russia didn't win any medals. The sports world awaits Russia's response to the ban. That's all for Sports Hub.
The Bulls and Bears are tanking. It's rough, but it's tough being a fan, man.
I do think the Bulls have a decent-looking future, you know, with Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen. If they can just get one more young guy through the draft, I'll feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs did it, so yeah, there's hope.
I know, I feel your pain, man.
But when we come back, we say hello one last time to Brandon Morocco as he previews the upcoming international ski season.
And we'll find out whose leadership and selflessness gives them the title of this week's Leader of the Pack.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Dream, this is our last show, man.
I know, team. It's a very bittersweet feeling. I'm excited to be graduating with you, but I'm going to miss Top Shelf, man.
And on top of that, this is the last time I make it to do my beloved and award-winning MMA discussion.
Well, take it away, my man.
Thank you, man. Now, before we get too deep into our discussion, news broke late last night that George St. Pierre has vacated his middleweight belt, making Robert Whittaker the undisputed champion, and he puts his belt on the line against Luke Rockhold in Perth, Australia, February 10th. Now let's go take a look back at last Saturday. Max Holloway did successfully defend his belt by defeating Jose Aldo once again, but the most memorable moment happened in the heavyweight division. Former Dream, Strikeforce, and K1 heavyweight champion Alistair Overeem squared off against hard-hitting up-and-comer Francis Ngannou. Now, Overeem is a guy who likes to hide behind big shots and feints and fakes, but it was Overeem himself who bit and left himself open for a Shoryuken from Francis Ngannou. This is one of the UFC's leading candidates for KO of the year, and it doesn't take much to see why. This win rockets Ngannou up the rankings, and early word is that he will indeed be facing Stipe Miocic next year. The fight of the night was awarded in the battle between Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez. Alvarez came into the fight ranked 4 in the world, with Gaethje 1 behind him at 5. In a slugfest between two, well, slugfesters, I think I just made up a word there, Austin, Eddie Alvarez came out on top with an absolutely brutal knee that put Gaethje down for the fight. Alvarez is the man that Conor McGregor took the belt from, so he's positioned mighty nicely after that KO win. Now is usually when I would preview the next UFC or Bellator card, but I cannot overlook the fight on ESPN this Saturday. Vasily Lomachenko will face off against Guillermo Rigondeaux in a fight to determine who is the better human matrix. Guillermo Rigondeaux has gone through a rough time trying to find quality opponents ever since his 2 gold medal wins, yet still holds an unbeaten record of 17-0-1. He is atop the pound-for-pound rankings due to his speed, elusiveness, counterpunching, power, and his ability to really do it all. Across the ring will be Vasily Lomachenko, probably the most elusive fighter since Roy Jones Jr. in his prime. The WBO junior lightweight title will be on the line in one of the most anticipated non-pay-per-view boxing fights in a long time.
NASCAR season is over, and our thankful king of speed, Brandon Morocco, brings us down the slopes.
Brandon has an Olympic skiing preview and covers this past weekend's alpine skiing events.
Let's send it over to not the garage, but the lodge.
The lodge!
Featuring Brandon Morocco.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, hey.
You're
It's
welcome.
that time of year again. It's cold outside, ski season is underway, and we are less than 100 days till Pyeongchang Olympics. Today I'm going to recap the events from last weekend and look ahead to the Olympics and the overall. So let's drop in. On the women's side, we start with the biggest story in ski racing right now. That is Mikaela Shiffrin, and just her 3rd downhill start, she finished 3rd in Lake Louise on Friday. That was surprising enough itself, but then the next day she came out and she won the downhill. Now, Shiffrin is a technical specialist, but no one was expecting this. Her previous best finish in the downhill was 15th. It's on only her 4th start. So now this brings the question, does she compete in the speed events at the Olympics? So back in Sochi, she gave that now infamous press conference where she said she wanted to win 5 medals at the next Olympics. Now that doesn't seem out of the question anymore. We already know that she's basically a lock in the technical disciplines, and it's probably going to come down to how far ahead she is in the overall standings in February. Right now, she says that the downhill is not in the plan, but the speed races come after the technical races in the Olympics, so we might just see Shiffrin complete in speed, and if she's in the gate, that gives her 6 chances at medals at the Olympics. Now over to the men in Beaver Creek, Colorado. It was another first-time winner when Austria's Vincent Kriechmeier took home his first ever Super G victory when he finished ahead of last season's Super G gold winner, Jettel Jansrud. On Saturday, they had the downhill race. Norway's Axel Lund Svindal started the day off. He was making his first downhill start after missing basically the last 2 seasons due to knee injuries. He laid down a fantastic run. No one else was able to beat his time. And in the first downhill back in nearly 2 years, he took home the win. Then on Sunday, we have technical races in Giant Slalom. Austria's Marcel Hirscher was making his return to Giant Slalom after breaking his ankle this summer. He finished 3rd behind America's Ted Ligety, who has been dominant at Beaver Creek, and Germany's Stefan Lewitz in the first run. But Hirscher went out in the second run, and it was a classic Hirscher, super aggressive, attacking the whole way down. The one was good enough to hold up against Ligety and Lewitz and give him the win. Now we look to the overall title race and the Olympics. On the women's side, right now it looks like all Mikaela Shiffrin. The overall, we have seen that she can compete in any discipline, which is key for the overall. Her biggest threat is Germany's Victoria Ravensburg. She has been right there in the speed events and has won both giant slalom races this season. But don't count out Petra Vlhova. She has beaten Shiffrin 2 of the 3 last slalom races and will be starting some Super G races this season. Overall, though, I think it's Shiffrin's race to lose. Then on the men's side, it's shaping up to be the battle that we all thought that we were going to get 2 years ago. The most dominant technical skier, Marcel Hirscher, versus the most dominant speed skier, Axel Lund Svindal. If the two can stay healthy, it should make for a very exciting overall. So it's starting out as a great season on both men and women's side. The talent is deeper than we've seen in a long time, and that will make for very exciting when the Olympics come around and in the overall title race. From the Lodge, I'm Brandon Morocco. Now let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you, and Austin, we're back. We're back. Oh, hey, look, one last kick from
Hot
Santa
cocoa,
Claus.
my favorite.
This one's actually from Brandon Morocco, from the Lodge itself. And Brandon, thank you. Brandon will be graduating in a week, and from all of us at Top Shelf Sports, we love you, man, and we wish nothing but the best for you, whether it be YouTube, Disney, TV, or whatever your future brings.
We're going to miss you, Brandon. It's time to switch gears to fantasy football, where I don't think we are going to see Mitch Trubisky atop the fantasy sleepers category.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that's a no.
We throw it over to the No Huddle Defense co-host David Sivia for the fantasy rundown and the Top Shelf Sports Top 5 Plays of the Week.
Thanks, guys. You're going to assume, right, Mitch Trubisky is not the quarterback that we're doing it. So it's fantasy football time, and playoffs are right around the corner, so it's do or die from here on out. I know it's very tantalizing. With everything on the line, who else to lead you into victory than the quarterback Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions? He loves to come from behind wins, but last week he injured his throwing hand. But he's expected to play this week. The Lions head into Tampa Bay for a favorable matchup against the Buccaneers. If Stafford gives it a go, I expect Stafford to go off. The running back that will take you to the fantasy football promised land is LaShawn McCoy. Shady has faced a stiff New England defense last week, but still managed a few yards short of 100 yards. With Buffalo visiting the Indianapolis Colts, though, look for McCoy to be a workhorse this week. And the wideout that will finish off your opponent is A.J. Green. A.J. Green and the Bengals are taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears' secondary is depleted, and A.J. Green is a notorious down-the-field threat playmaker on the Cincinnati sideline. Green is due for a huge game. So now we're going to shift gears. We're going to take it over the top 5 plays of the week and our final top 5 plays of the semester. So let's get this cracking. Let's see where top plays given in the gift of giving this week. At number 5, we go to some Thursday night football as Drew Brees doing what Drew Brees does best, airing it out. Who dat? Former Husky Tommy Lee Lewis. Small in stature but big in fight, Lewis with the quick step back, pulling out the rug from underneath the Falcons' defenders. At number 4, we hit the hardwood, and who said big men don't have handles? DeMarcus Cousins boogieing down to the paint with a nifty layup. 7-footers should not be able to do that. Nasty, nasty. At number 3, J. Warren drives the lane and puts up a wild one, but it's the rook Josh Jackson who follows him up and puts it all over Marcin Gortat. Get the poster machine ready because Gortat just ended up on some kid's wall. Merry Christmas. At number 2, Gary Harris takes the pick from Mason Plumlee and takes it straight to the hole. Larry Nance Jr. tries meeting him at the rim, but gets put into the spin cycle for the acrobatic finger roll finish. And at number 1, the top play of the week, Tariq Cohen has proven to be one of the most versatile players on the gridiron. Cohen takes the punt from the 40 and immediately reverses field, and the 49ers seem to have it stuffed out. But little do they know, Tariq Cohen's fast. He plants his foot and takes off, and from there, no one is catching him. Cohen brings home the top play of the week and the top play of the final top play of the semester. So that's all I got from over here. We're going to send it back to the desk for one last time this semester. Thanks, guys. As always, this has been David Sivia.
Thanks, David, and I hope you have a good break. We're excited to have you back next semester. Now, for everyone watching, you see us all have fun. You get to see the final product. But it's the prep work that goes into the show where we all really get to learn.
And one man in particular really leads us in that learning process. Top Shelf Sports reporter Mateo Avila has more and a very special leader of the pack.
Top Shelf Sports producer Eddie Garcia has taken the show to new heights by being the first person to successfully produce it live to tape. Eddie's friendly nature, along with his drive to achieve new accomplishments, have created a learning environment that feels like something much greater.
Now the stereo was good. We're going to keep doing more. I feel like through Top Shelf, I've created a family. I think we've all became a family. We were able to start something new that's, like we said, no one's ever done this before. So coming together, learning how the show works, how scripts work, how to interview people, teaching people how to use a camera, stuff like that. Those small things where, as we all came together, it created something big.
Eddie's rigorous work ethic has completely transformed the show from what it looked like in semesters past. And the transformation hasn't gone unnoticed by those who came before him and have taught him along the way.
The show is unrecognizable, thanks to Eddie. It's turned into this really high quality, high caliber sports show. It's a show that doesn't even remind me of what it was last semester. It's completely changed, and I think he's done a great job with it.
As the producer, Eddie is the man in charge, but his humble nature has turned him into a leader that teaches his peers what he's learned and ways to improve, because he wants success not only for himself, but for those around him.
That is a one shot right there. That's where you want it, right there. The future of Top Shelf, I want it to be able to develop students to become better in the future, become reporters, become camera guys, become successful. I want us all to be successful. That's my main goal here. And I want us all to be here in 20 years and be like, wow, we all did that together.
And while he is looking to improve everyone else's future, his selflessness, teaching, hard work, motivation, and knowledge are greatly improving his own future, one that appears to be very bright.
I'm going to be asking him for a job one day. I really expect him to go far in this industry. He's got whatever we in the professional world like to call it. He has it, and he has it on many levels.
All that Eddie has contributed to Top Shelf Sports leaves him as this week's leader of the pack. And for all of us involved, we would like to say,
Thank you, Eddie.
For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Mateo Avila.
Eddie, on behalf of everyone here at Top Shelf, we would like to thank you for all the opportunities you've given to us all semester.
So it's actually his 22nd birthday. He had no idea we were going to make this package for him. And for your 22nd birthday, we also got you a cake, man. So you're greatly appreciated, and we hope you have a great day.
Top Shelf Sports is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
For more on Top Shelf Sports, look us up and like us on Facebook. Be on the lookout for our various podcasts on SoundCloud. You can also check out our Twitter site at @TopShelfSports_NIU to keep up with the latest sports content.
This is our last show of the semester, and for Adam and I, our last show with Top Shelfs, as we are set to graduate on the 17th. So for one last time, we want to thank you all for joining us, and as always,
Go Huskies. Thank you, guys.